Community Day has already happened and people have played NBA 2K25 for the first time, and what we got is a leak of every single starting lineup and their ratings in NBA 2K25. What I'm doing in this video is comparing the ratings of last year right before the playoffs to the brand new game and seeing what has changed. Que pasa to the pack? It is Pack here. If you like content about NBA 2K25 and ratings, please join the pack and subscribe. I'm going to be doing it all year. Let's get in, man. First up is the Philadelphia 76ers, as I always do. Tyrese Maxey goes +1. We have Eric Gordon on the team. Kelly Oubre, -1. Paul George at power forward, -1. And Joel Embiid, -2. Embiid, who's been MVP of this league, has been consistently tied as the best player in the NBA for just 2 years now, is not the best player in the NBA anymore ratings wise when Jokic and Giannis are above him. I don't know if that's right. I kind of disagree with that. Up next, we have the Milwaukee Bucks. Only changes is Chris Middleton down to a -1 and Brook Lopez also -1. The only real difference here is that Gary Trent Jr. is a shooting guard for the team, and that's really it. For the Chicago Bulls, Kobe White -1, Vucevic -1, and Josh Giddey -3, the new addition to the team. So essentially you've replaced 87 overall DeMar with Josh Giddey. Good luck, Chicago. For the Cleveland Cavaliers, we have Darius Garland -1, Evan Mobley -1, and Jared Allen -2. All downgrades for the Cleveland Cavaliers, but Donovan Mitchell stays the same. For the champs, the Boston Celtics, Tatum +1 and Jaylen Brown +2. I don't know how I feel about the big gap between Tatum and Brown. I think Brown showed this playoffs that he's a little better than we all think, but that's just my opinion. Porzingis goes -1. Drew Holiday goes +1. No one is below an 86 overall on the starting lineup of this team. There's a reason they won the championship. For the Los Angeles Clippers, the only change is James Harden -1. There is no Paul George, but now you have Derrick Jones Jr. at the small forward. It's going to be a very interesting year with the Clippers. For the Grizzlies, a massive downgrade. John Morant -3. And we also have Desmond Bane -2. I don't know how I feel about a John Morant -3 when either A, he was suspended, or B, he's been injured. It's not fair to downgrade a guy that hasn't even been given the chance to show you how good he is. I think John Morant's going to be one of the more improved players rating-wise this year. For the Atlanta Hawks, only downgrades for them. Bogey -1, Capella -1, Hunter -1, and you lose DeJounte Murray. The Hawks are going to have a bad year, at least based off of ratings. The Miami Heat, Jimmy Butler -4 to an 89 overall. I've always felt that Jimmy Butler was just a little too high, but a -4 is pretty aggressive. I do think his rating was always inflated because he was able to bring his team to the finals, and yes, he elevated his game, but a 93 overall for Jimmy always felt really high. Jaime Jaquez +1, Tyler Hero -1, and Terry Rozier -1. I still think they're going to be pretty good this year. We'll see. For the Charlotte Hornets, a lot of downgrades. LaMelo Ball -1, Brandon Miller -1, Mark Williams -2, but Bridges +1, which of all players, I don't feel like Bridges was the one that deserved a +1. So what a funny change. For the Utah Jazz, we have John Collins -1, Larry Markkinen -1, Keontae George -1, and Taylor Hendricks -1. Downgrades all over the place for the Utah Jazz, which is funny because I feel like a lot of these players are going to go up in ratings this year. For the Sacramento Kings, Sabonis -2, De'Aaron Fox -1, and Keegan Murray -1. But it doesn't matter because you've added an 87 overall DeMar DeRozan onto the roster. You have 3 guys in the high 80 overall club, and Keegan Murray, who's only getting better every year. It's a scary year for the Kings. For the New York Knicks, Dante DiVincenzo -1, but Bridges +1. This team, when healthy, is very, very solid. It's all going to depend on really Mitchell Robinson if he's going to come back healthy at all, but still, this is going to be one of the best teams in the East no matter what, just based off of Tom Thibodeau's coaching. For the Los Angeles Lakers, LeBron James -1, Anthony Davis -1, Austin Reeves -1, D'Lo -2, and Rui Hachimura -3. And you know what's funny? I kind of disagree with most of this. I don't think LeBron or Anthony Davis deserve minuses, especially after the Olympics. I think D'Lo should have stayed at an 83. And Rui Hachimura, who also had a great Olympics, went down 3. A lot of this I don't necessarily agree with the Lakers. For the Orlando Magic, surprise upgrades. Paolo Banchero, another +1. He's an 89 overall. Jalen Suggs -2, Franz Wagner +1, and then Wendell Carter Jr. +2. So they kind of raised the stars and lowered everybody else, which is weird because I feel like the Magic last season were good because everybody was doing good. So kind of a weird change for them. The Dallas Mavericks, we have Kyrie Irving +1. Daniel Gafford -1. PJ Washington +1. I agree with that one. And Klay Thompson -1. To be honest with you, I'm okay with all of these changes. The Brooklyn Nets, some pretty big downgrades. Dennis Schroeder -1. Cam Thomas -2, which I disagree with. And Nicholas Claxton -2, which I also disagree with. Cam Thomas is going to have the most field goals attempted this season by far because who else is going to do it on this team? I think he's going to have probably a good year. For the Nuggets, Nikola Jokic -1, 97 overall. Still tied as the best player in the league. I don't even think he should have gotten a -1 if I'm being honest, but Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr. -1, that I do agree. And after the Olympics with Canada, Jamal Murray should have got a -20. For the Pacers, Tyrese Halliburton -1, Nembhard +1, Siakam +1, and Turner +1. Simple changes for the Pacers. I agree with most of them. For the Pelicans, we have DeJounte Murray -1. CJ McCollum -2 and Brandon Ingram -2. And although there's some downgrades adding DeJounte Murray, looking at the ratings of the starting lineup, you gotta admit this team looks pretty dangerous. They're really one of the only teams to have all 80 overall club members in the starting lineup, like the Celtics. The Pistons suck. Ivy -1, Thompson -1, Duren -2. You add Tobias Harris. I don't know how they can get worse, and they find a way every year. The Raptors, Emmanuel Quickley -2, RJ Barrett -2, and Jakob Poeltl -2. I don't know how I feel about those changes. I kind of disagree with them. I didn't think any of those players played bad at the end of the year. I disagree with this. The Houston Rockets, we have Fred VanVleet -1, Jalen Green -1, Jabari Smith -1, and Şengün -1. Top to bottom, minuses for the Rockets, but I feel like they'll have a decent year this year anyways. The Spurs, Chris Paul +2, Devin Vassell -1, Harrison Barnes -2, Sohan -1, but Victor Wembanyama +2. 91 overall for Vic. It's not that surprising seeing what he did at the end of the year last year and the Olympics. Everybody knows that it's Victor's league in just a couple years, and that couple years could start now actually. He's terrifying. Chris Paul back in the 80 overall club. He is a little old, but now he's going to have a way more important role as a starting point guard for the Spurs. I could see him being even higher later in the year, like an 85. The Suns, Kevin Durant -2, Booker -2, Beal -2, Nurkic -2, and Grayson Allen -1. I disagree with everything besides Beal -2. How can you downgrade Booker and KD when they have been fantastic in the Olympics and in the regular season? That makes no sense to me. The Thunder only changes SGA -1, and you've added Alex Caruso to the team. This team has only gotten better. Watch out for them this year. The Timberwolves, Anthony Edwards +2, 93 overall, amazing playoffs, not surprised. Rudy Gobert -1, and somehow is going to win Defensive Player of the Year again this season. The Trailblazers, Anthony Simons -2, and also DeAndre Ayton -2, but you add Denny Avdija, who's an 80 overall club member. Still going to be a bad year for the Blazers, but they're young, right? New look Warriors. We have a Warriors with no Klay Thompson. Wiggins goes -1. Buddy Hield's now a starter for the team. It's different, but it could work for the Warriors. And finally, the Wizards. The only thing I've noticed really, besides adding Sadiq Bey and Jonas Valanciunas, Jordan Poole's not even starting. That's crazy, dude. Okay, that is our first look at the roster for an NBA 2K25. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. And if you like this channel, please give it a sub. I'll see you guys next time.